Machen wir hier in Creativeworld heute?
Ich bin Martina Lammel und ich bin kreativer Kopf.
I'm Martina Lammel. I've been a creative head of this. I've been in this industry for many years. I did TV and wrote books, and looking at the industry is my task, and I will moderate the Creative World Academy. Well, that's great. Well, I'm the first time, it's the first time at the Creative World at Frankfurt trade show, and I find it interesting to see the variety here. Well, we're definitely the greatest industry, of course, and what I find interesting, we start here with the smaller stands. Often they have come up from smaller startups, and then they develop a little bit further every year, and interesting aspects crop up. This is from the Village Journal. This is made for office work, office planners, and this led to a creative world. So we can design patterns or upload photographs, and there are great sets, and you can dot interesting motifs, with dots. So I'm gonna do some dotting today. Yeah, it's really exciting. You can work in a meditative way. I know there's workshops, post-its. Yeah, this is something for everybody. And look over here, this is an inspiration. There are many inspirations. This one would be something for an event. You can print out such a board, and then you can give this to somebody having an anniversary or for a marriage, and everybody puts their dots on the right figure. And at the end, this leads to a picture of the spouses or whatever. Great ideas. Well, sounds interesting. So I look forward to what you're going to show me. You have come up with a little route. Yes, we have several topics. We'll continue with a topic that's called resin. This is about artificial resin, and this is up and coming. Those of you who would like to do design objects, this is something artists like to use, natural materials combined with this resin, mixed with this wood. You can create your own design furniture in this way. And up here you can see funny things like colorful things, it depends on your pouring technique. This is something for designers, for people who like handicrafts, everybody who's creative, and this stays around for a lifetime. This is art for a lifetime, and you don't need to buy any cheap decorative stuff. You can do it yourself, and it lives for a long time, and I think this is very sustainable too. So here we we've seen resin, and here we have colorful paper. This is the feminine aspect, the flowers. Paper flowers have always been around in this scene, but this is beautiful. Yes, beautiful paper. These are paper flowers. Yes, they're very nicely color-coded. This is a standard paper, very basic stuff that has been around for a long time. This is crepe paper. People take their cue from natural materials, from animals, plants, and they copy this, and then one's own creative aspects are brought in. So there are many materials, dots, resin, paper, and I see pens, lots of pens. Well, this is for those who like painting. So here, with this company, you see manufacturers making important paints like acrylic paints, oil paints. These areas that were separate in the past are mixing. So the colors are mixing. Well, there's a lot going on there, quite noisy. And what do we have here? There's interesting scenery. This is the street art scene. It has a lot to do with graffiti, and this is inspired by mangas and comic books, and they make markers. How are they used? Well, I talked to these people. They can explain you stuff with the markers. They wanted to make everything refillable to reduce junk and to use recycled materials for the packaging. So this goes in a remarkable into a sustainable direction. Yes, everybody makes an effort. Oh, this is cool too. What do we have here? Now, these are this is printing. It's not linoleum. This is a printing plate. It's high pressure. It's a letter pressing, and the letter presses are like you had them in the past. Oh, the figures are pastel figures. Yeah, people like to set up their own creative studio, and this is Instagram ready, right? Yeah, that's supposed to have a long service life. This looks like good value, much success. So this is a mix of handicrafts art. Again, this is another interesting. Well, I come from a printing industry, by the way. This is screen printing, and without using lighting, you can layer the silk screen printing. They do this in a simple way, and you don't need this light exposure. And it's flat. You can print. Oh, it sounds great. Look, this is a very plastic printing result. Isn't this great? Oh, I'll pick it up for my daughter. Yeah, I'll come back in a moment. Great, wonderful. This is very artistic. Well, you can get lost here, really, can't you? Yes, definitely. You feel at home here, right? We are in Hall 1.1, right? And this is an interesting topic. These are masses with glaze with glazing, liquid glazing. You don't have to mix it. There's no dust. You can pour it from a pot. Is this new? No, it's innovative. No, this is an old topic, and now all of us can do this because it's user friendly, and there are no toxic components inside. Because of this pottery story has become very big. Pottery has become big in recent years. So you can do it at home. You can make your own pottery. Yeah, sure. And we can do the glazing too. And many buy kilns. And this means sustainable dishes. Have you ever done it? Yeah, I've done it too once. And just some minerals. This is quite exciting too. So this is iron and whatnot. What do we see here? Well, you can see, as a creative person, where the color pigments come from. Here they have a mineral origin, these different stones, and creative people like to know where the colors come from. When you see the pigment comes from nature, then we love this, And you talked about ingredients, but how you paint, where you paint. Okay, here we have other products made from wood, easels, and a canvas stand, and this gives you a better feeling if you use this natural wood. So future innovation or designs for at home, for gift making are developed here. So we have the Creative World with Ambiente, we have Christmas World, and it's exciting that these people here are doing new things, ideas that were not around a few years ago. Yes, and every year, you see new ideas and things mix and blend and mingle. This is DIY. Plotting is done a lot. Here's an electronic plotter. You can plot foils, transfer foils. This is interesting for companies that want to make their own T-shirts for an event. You can do this at home. You can do it directly without having delivered to you. And this is an industrial way of making these T-shirts, and they have the same long service life and made industrial, but on an individual scale. So, okay, we'll go upstairs now. Okay. Up we go. So we're in 1.1 now. This is 1.2. This is more relaxing up here. It's quieter. Well, these are larger booths, but there's a very small booths, and this is the contrast. And this is where I feel, well, as a child, I grew up in a print shop we made, stamps, and these are robust machines. And here here we make trucks. These are printing presses. They exist again, and people want to set up a creative studio. Here they make stamps. It's a stamp manufacturer, and every year they make new creative stamps and supplements, and they won an award. They make innovative stuff, and actually, without any bling bling, they have been doing this job for a long time now with energy and innovation. So there's so many contrasts. Both businesses, small and big, French, Italians, but 80% of these exhibitors come from abroad. Oh, that's cool. 249 exhibitors altogether, 36 from 36 countries, and 80% of these are, this, by the way, is interesting. This is a classic stationery manufacturer, but they're also represented in Creativeworld because hand lettering is becoming strong now. This is from calligraphics. This has had a major influence on this business, and the manufacturers want to optimize these things, these devices, that we can develop these topics. Well, I'm having a great time and enjoying every minute. Wonderful. And these handicrafts, do you have to be an artist to hold your own? No, you don't have to. You have to enjoy it. You have to like creative design, and whether it becomes art or not, that's the borders are blurring, and you don't take the cheap. You don't want to use the cheap material, the cheap brushes. You want brushes which are sophisticated, vegan, and whatnot. The brushes are the same, really. These brushes have been around for a long time. And so there's innovation in terms of brushes. Yeah, innovation, helps us stay with it. And this is a highly exciting topic to pigments. Just before we talked about minerals, and we have plant-based pigments too. And we have textiles. You can dye your own wool before you knit it. And for us creative people, this is a highly interesting aspect. And the pigments, for instance, for watercolors, for instance. Oh, you are an artist too in your own right. Great. Okay.
Well, yes, my daughter is my inspiration. Children are always the best inspiration. Where do you see nuances? Well, this show has been around for a while, hasn't it? Was this new? What was really impressive for you? Well, the stationery industry, they now are also present. We used to it used to be all about that's all the things that are done manually, but they also have a special trade fair. And here, for example, again, you can dye your own wool, you can process your wool, even if you have just a small project, knitting a pair of socks or something. And this is why it's so important that we are here at the Creativeworld, and I hope that even more people come, from the wool and knitting industry. So the best thing would be to get bigger all the time. And then books. Books obviously are very important if you want to learn something as a creative person. In addition to social media, books are still really popular. In order to see trends, current topics, and also as a gift. This year there is not a lot that's new when it comes to books, but that's probably because of the pandemic, and next year there will probably be many new publications. I really enjoy listening to you, and your recommendation would be everyone can come. What about the age of people? Children. What about children? Yes, they are very welcome. Everyone can be creative, and if you ask me about my target group, it's everyone. Anyone who wants to be creative. Also table decoration, tableware. This is, beautiful, children's birthdays. You will know that better than myself. So you get a lot of inspiration here, and the materials. It's not everyone who can do something out of nothing. That brings me to the topic of upcycling. This is more prominent this year because it's all about the sparing use of resources. T-shirts are reused by, they are painted, decorated, or shredded or whatever. Well, that's cool here. So I have the right pair of shoes, my running shoes. Does it look strange enough? Quaint enough? Yeah, great. Okay, so I don't know if I want to look at that picture later. And that's also something I love about this. Everyone is motivated, everyone is open. It's easy to, strike up a conversation. Yes, there's a lot of exchange, and no one is really, a competitor. Everyone wants to continue to develop, to get better, and to create symbioses. Yeah, this is a compound for modeling. This is the trends area. What do we see here? The trends area, this is created by a style agency every year, and they really have broken this down into different style worlds. Well, that's probably deliberate, isn't it? And so people like to go here, they like to come here to get quick information about what's happening, about what the current trends are, particularly if you are a producer. So where do we move? Where are we headed? This again is a kind of resin. It's a powder that's mixed, and then you add pigments, and then you can do marbling and whatever. Really ingenious. Well, trends at the creative world, great. There's still a lot to see, but unfortunately we don't have much time left. Well, that's a pity. So I hope to see you again at the Creative World. Bye-bye.